And what was that based on, that mistrust?
The fact that she was American, an actress, divorced, black, biracial, with a black mother. Those were just 4 of the typical stereotypes that becomes a feeding frenzy for the British press. So if you have that judgment based on a stereotype right at the beginning, it's very, very hard to get over that. And a large part of it for the family, but also the British press and numerous other people, is like, he's changed. She must be a witch.
3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Prince Harry. Are we following this story? Do we care?
I follow it for what I think has been such a horrible treatment of the 2 of them by their country and their family. I don't remember, maybe someone can find it and show it to me, where the family has come out to say racism is not acceptable here, and Meghan is part of our family and Harry is part of our family. And when you disrespect them, you are disrespecting our entire royal family. I've never heard anybody say that. It's like they just sort of threw them out.
One thing I've really been impressed by is when Harry's asking if he's also responsible for some of the things that have happened, he readily says yes, that he has. I mean, that's one thing I really appreciate. The cycle breaker for generational abuse is always seen as the troublemaker. I think that's important to remember. Is always seen as the troublemaker. And Meghan and Harry are systems disruptors. There needs to be a distinction between the family and the institution, because the institution is racist and colonizing. I mean,
history shows us that. We just need to pick up a book about the past.
That's it. And the institution has traumatized every single member of that family. Even the people who benefit the most from the institution have been traumatized horribly by it. Harry came to realize, thanks to Meghan, the severity of it, and that nothing had changed since his mother, and that history was about to repeat itself. And if you think of it, he's given up a lot.
I didn't follow the documentary, but I did watch his interview on 60 Minutes with Anderson Cooper. And that was the one interview I watched. And had I not seen that and just read, comments, opinion sections, I would have thought this guy's off his rocker. He's just looking to make trouble. But I watched the interview and I'm like, everything he said seems to be making perfect sense. He doesn't seem to be crazed, or he doesn't seem to have an agenda or any sort of vendetta. So now I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll read the book.
And watch the documentary. It's absolutely fascinating when he talks about his privilege. And once he was able to open his eyes and look around and see that things weren't, what he'd always been taught. The other thing is the palace has the ability to communicate. And even though they've said that they aren't issuing statements, they're issuing statements every single day in the press. The press is them. There's an office that is the responsibility of the office is to coordinate with the press. And those are laid out at breakfast. And the reason they are is, of course, that is what the monarchy wants people to see. The private conversations that he had with his family members that then show up in the tabloids, he knows exactly how they got there.
You really have to ask yourself, why is she hated so much? I mean, she hasn't done anything. She met someone and she married him. She didn't just make him marry her. They decided together that they wanted to be together. So you have to ask yourself, why is she hated so much? Why does Piers Morgan just despise her so much? And so I asked myself that question, why is it? And it has to be, race is one. They're so jealous and they can't believe that this Black woman married the prince. She's targeted because she's Black. We talk about multiracial and all that stuff now, but at the end of the day, she's Black.
If you look at it, Diana, Fergie, Meghan, all outspoken women, right? Meghan very successful in her own right, did not need a prince. I think her success, especially as a Black woman, can be perceived as a threat. Because if you look at the institution and how the institution perceives Black women, it is not in that role. And if you look at Kate, her counterpart, when was the last time she said anything? When was the last time you could remember a sentence that she uttered, an opinion that she had? Nothing. Crickets.
How many years is she gonna be able to do that?
Until she's queen.
See, when the press turns on her for some reason, and then
The press will only the press won't turn on her until the family turns on her, right? Because the press is owned by the family. The family is never going to turn on someone who's quiet. That is the way to appease that family, is to know your place and stay in your place.